Hi, everyone. This is a very quick recap of our confirmation session. So, we understand what enlightenment is and what enlightenment is not. So, after we understand what enlightenment is, it is very, very important to confirm that we have understood. It is important to know that we know. All right. So, what is enlightenment? First of all, enlightenment is not an experience. Enlightenment is just understanding that it's a very simple intellectual understanding that anything that we feel, any emotion, feeling, or a thought, however we are at this moment in our psychological world, is completely fine and we are okay with that. And because we cannot change it, we do attempt to change, and then we understand our inability to change our psychological structure. So we come to a conclusion that we do inquiries, we do so many different analysis, and then we verify and conclude that yes, the psychological state, whatever we have at this moment, is what there is, and we cannot change it or alter it in a way how we want. We cannot hold on to something, or we cannot push away something, an emotion or a feeling that we don't like. So just understanding that, however, whatever we feel at this moment is fine and it's okay, and just allowing it to be the way it is called enlightenment. This intellectual understanding is enlightenment. So once we understand what enlightenment is, we stop interfering with the natural flow and the natural state of mind, which is always, always constantly flowing. So we don't hold on to a particular blissful or a so called good experience and want to stretch it out, or we don't resist and push away from a very disappointing, sad, or a depressing experience or a feeling. So once we do that, the mind naturally cleanses itself, and anything that comes keeps moving and keeps flowing, and this we call the pravaham. So once understanding this flow, we understand this is what liberation is. So is liberation a state to be attained? No, it is a state that already there is, and just by not interfering with the flow, natural flow of mind, we just allowing liberation to happen at any time, at any given moment. So it's not a state to be attained in the future or after some efforts, but it is something that already exists within us. We just need to discover and understand, and because of our understanding, we stop interfering and accept the flow, and we allow the flow through us. So now, understanding what enlightenment is and what liberation is, how does one change after this enlightenment, after this understanding? So, is one expected to always be loving, to be always feeling one with everything, to always feel blissful, and to have great experiences, particularly good experiences? No, definitely not. That's what we are understanding. We cannot retain a particular, we cannot pick and choose a particular experience or an emotion, so called good or bad. So, definitely, a jnani, a wise person, or a person who is enlightened could freak out with anger. Not necessarily freak out, but could experience anger or any emotion for that sorts. Lust, hatred, depression, sorrow, just plain a flat feeling, or an excited, ecstatic feeling. Whatever emotions, whatever feelings, we just understand that there is no permanent state of being. So that constant flow is what enlightenment is. So yes, after enlightenment, after you understand what enlightenment is, yes, the mind doesn't stop because we don't interfere. It just keeps going, always throwing out emotions, always reflecting based on in whatever external situations we are placed in. If the external situation is a chaotic situation, of course we will have the byproduct of kind of a tensed emotions or a difficult emotion or whatnot. And if the external situation is blissful, of course we might feel blissful emotion. So do we have to control to have peaceful emotion, even though we have a very unpredictable, unstable, kind of a difficult situation outside? Not necessarily. We just let any emotion come and they go much more quickly than before. So that part being said, yes, we will be having all sorts of emotions. So does enlightened people are opted out of life's problems? Definitely not. We all live our life as it is, just like ordinary people, but with extraordinary emotional intelligence and with an understanding that we don't have to fix ourselves in order to fix an external situation. So we completely feel the freedom to be who we are. At the same time, we are very much in choice, in freedom to kind of figure out what's going on in the external world and to take in charge or responsibility for the results in the external world. And by doing this, we become more responsible citizens. We become responsible in our relationships, in our society. Um, we just become more efficient because we stop fighting within ourselves with our emotions and feelings and whatnot. So now, having said that, just letting go and doing nothing is the best action to be done in the internal world. So is that the best action in the outside world? No. In the outside world, just letting go and just doing nothing will result in nothing. So, and in the internal world, doing everything or just not letting go and putting so much effort is the reason for the chaos. So know where to let go, know where to hold on, know where to accept things as it is, know where to take responsibility and change things, right? So that's the internal and the psychological world where we don't have any work or effort, and in the external or the physical reality, we have complete responsibility in whatever possible way we can, that to contribute and to make changes. Now, having said that, will this enlightenment give me a ring of halo, a light around me? Will it make me something superior than others? No, definitely not. Will somebody identify me as an enlightened person? Do I look different? Do I look blissful? No, not at all. In fact, you might become even more ordinary than you used to be because you just let go of all that need to stand out, all that need to prove yourself, but at the same time, you'll be very, very effective and productive. And in fact, you will start having more common sense, I would say, and you will start enjoying your world. So does enlightenment always help me make the right choices, only the right choices? Maybe or may not. Sometimes we just make choices based on our intelligence, based on what we feel intellectually, and of course we will not be clouded by all those racing emotions like before. We will take better intellectual decisions, but sometimes it might be a wrong choice. But don't worry, we will just move on. We will easily move on, and we will just move on to what's next, and we will kind of reiterate our path, and we will keep moving forward, right? So now, does enlightenment make me one with everything that I see? Do I feel oneness with everything that I have? Again, it comes into the basket of experiences. So, enlightenment need not give you that experience. Well, if you do feel oneness, okay, well, enjoy it, but it is going to fade away after a few days or so, and allow that also to be. So, whatever spiritual experiences or blissful experiences we feel are also just mere physical experience, so no big deal. So how do I know that I am enlightened? I'm no more struggling within myself, and I accept myself as who we are, and I'm not trying to reprogram or reassess myself and pick and choose my emotions and feelings. Rather, I have a choice to use the emotional energy, to use or not use, or kind of tone it down based on what's needed externally. So does my life become boring and uninteresting after I become enlightened? It's a fair question to ask, but no. Initially, it might be because we were doing so much inside our world, and now we just let go. So initially, there we might feel a void, a little bit of void kind of thing, and that is also an acceptable state. So say yes for that, and keep moving on. So once we are past that, we just feel the real life, the living essence. Before that, it's all in our thoughts and ideas, and it's all abstract, right? But now, after we understand the ever present and ever flowing lively nature of our mind, everything around comes alive. So we become, in fact, more alive. And but if not, don't worry. That's all right. That's all right also. So however we feel is the right feeling. So this is how we understand enlightenment. We validate and verify and confirm enlightenment. And this confirmation is really necessary because we need to know what we know. And why? Because not to overlook, not to oversimplify this, even though this is a simple truth. And thanks to Bagavath Ayya, he gave us in a very simplified manner. But that doesn't mean, just because we think complex things are great and intelligent, please don't miss the boat. It is very simple. It is true. So, do we have to go somewhere? Do we have to become something? Do we have to achieve something in our internal psychological world? No, not at all. There is nowhere to go, nowhere to be. All you are here and now is the right place for you to be. And there is, you literally, we are helpless and in changing our mind, in altering our mind. And because we know we are helpless and we cannot do that, we drop all our efforts. And by becoming total zero and by accepting a total failure inside ourselves, to change ourselves, to fix ourselves, we start embracing and accepting as ourselves as who we are. So we are becoming a big zero in our internal world, and that gives us the energy and confidence and a clarity to become a hero. I don't know, superhero, hero, whatever that is, at least to be the best version of who we are, we can be. That's possible for us. So please understand the distinction of where there is letting go, where there is no work, and where there is total responsibility, and where there is work. So after enlightenment, if you were a teacher, you will be an enlightened teacher. If you were a driver, you will be an enlightened driver. If you were a mother, you will be an enlightened mother. That's all. The role in the external world doesn't change, but who you are to yourself will completely change, because now you're completely happy with who you are, or you're just fine as who you are. And that's total acceptance, and that's total understanding, and that's total awakening, and that's the truth. Thank you.